Madam Chair, lead counsel, members of the public, audience, our viewers out there, may I seize this opportunity to welcome you back after our recession for 16 working days. In the same vein, I want to remind you that the ball was still rolling for the Secretariat of this Commission of Inquiry into local government councils and related matters, in that the Secretariat was able to do an in-depth analysis of documents received from all the councils across the country. And during the same recess too, this commission was privileged to have from our midst, in the name of Ajaratu Jainaba Ba, who traveled to the holy cities of Mecca and Medina to perform the pilgrimage. On that, I want to congratulate her and pray that Allah accepts her pilgrimage and accept it for all Gambians and Muslims who made it to the Holy Lands. May Allah accept these prayers. Amen. Without much ado, may I now pass the baton to the Honorable Chairperson for her words or remarks. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I wish to welcome the commissioners, the councils, the media, and the general public upon the resumption of sittings of this commission. I wish to thank everybody for the patience and the understanding of our short recess, and I would use this opportunity to call on Honorable Sila to lead us in the Muslim prayers, and Honorable Remy Joyner to do so in the Christian prayers before we commence proceedings. Thank you so much.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وآل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد برحمة الله صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق الناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, we continue to ask for your guidance as we begin a new chapter from our recess. May your Spirit continue to guide us in our deliberations, and may you never forsake us, neither forgive us, neither forsake us, and also grant us wisdom so that we're able to pursue your cause. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Silla and Honorable Silla and Honorable Joyner. Let me just quickly state that on the last adjourned date, we had the auditor, the audit. Yes. When we went for recess, before we went for recess, we had the last witness, who was the Director General of at the Ministry of at the Directorate of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. Cherno Eso, who was given evidence. And I am in receipt of a letter dated the 6th of July 2023, indicating that he is out of the jurisdiction and is seeking the permission of the Commission to excuse himself from concluding his evidence, which to that effect, the Secretariat conveyed our approval as the Commission to allow him to go for the official duty that he was scheduled to attend, which he has gone to the meeting he was scheduled to attend, which he has gone to do so. So on that note, we've got another witness, and I will allow the lead counsel to call in the next witness we have, and then we can proceed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Commissioners, good morning. Mr. Registrar, could you invite the next witness?
Good morning, Mr. Witness. Welcome back to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils. Please sit down, and may I remind you that you are still under oath. Thank you.
Mr. Jallo, good morning, and welcome back.
Yes, morning.
We will hand you over to the lead counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Mr. Jallo.
Yes, good morning.
It's good to have you back. I believe you were you were asked to provide certain documents to the Commission, which you now have available.
Yes.
Very well. I will hand you over to my co-counsel, who will have conduct of today's proceedings.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
It is good to have you back.
Thank you.
Can you guide us as to what documents you have brought?
Yes, I've brought a copy of the budget line for the Local Government Service Commission, which was demanded by the chairperson of the commission.
And then?
And then my appointment letter as chairperson of the Local Government Service Commission, which was also demanded
All right.
by yourself. And then the demotion and redeployment letter for the Deputy CEO of Kanifing Municipal Council.
Okay.
Then a response letter to the Permanent Secretary from the lawyer or legal representative of KMC to the Permanent Secretary regarding the demotion and the deployment of the Deputy CEO. Then a letter sent to the ministry, to the Honorable Minister, to the Permanent Secretary from the Commission, requesting for the Honorable Minister to revise and reissue the regulations governing the Local Government Service Commission operations.
Very well. Is that all?
And minutes of 28 December 2022, where the issue of the then CEO Seinabu Martin Sonko issue was being discussed at that meeting. Then another minutes of the commission of 9th May 2023. That was the first sitting regarding the former Director of Finance of BCC, Mr. Ablai Nyang, and the former CEO of KMC, Pak Khalifa Sanyang. In total, there are 7 in number.
Are the documents in its original form?
Whether they are?
Are they in its original form or are they photocopies?
Photocopies.
Photocopies.
Yes.
Where are the originals?
The originals are at the ministry.
Very well. Honorable Chair, we will want to have the documents in its photocopy form as identified and brought by the witness to see whether we can apply to have them tendered. Please.
Very well, Council.
Honorable Chairperson and Commissioners, I apply to tender the recurrent budget detailed estimates of expenditure. It has no date, but it has a code number 2221144 in evidence as an exhibit.
Council, can we be guided as to the admission of the photocopies? Can you put to the witness why he could not avail us the original copies, which
absolutely.
You could have peruse and photocopy, and if they need whatever for their files, they could have kept the copies. When we are done, they could access the originals.
Yes, thank
because
you.
Because these documents are going to be subject to, you understand?
Very well.
So can we just identify the documents?
So all the documents are in their photocopy form. Let me ask the witness again. Yes, you were asked to bring these documents, but you brought photocopies. Is there any way we can have the original?
Sorry. For some of them, maybe we may have the originals. Like the one sent to KMC, the original went to KMC. The letter from the commission to KMC, the CEO. But the one we sent to the permanent secretary also, the original should be there at the ministry.
But normally you must have duplicates of originals. For example, if you have sent a letter to KMC or the permanent secretary, you must have a duplicate of an original in your office.
Yes, those are the ones I used to photocopy.
Yes, so we would want to have the original documents of all these ones that you have brought today.
Then for the budget also, this is in a booklet form, and the relevant section was what was photocopied, and we don't have the full national budget document. That's where we can have the original of the budget line.
Yes, for the budget line we can understand, but Madam Chair, it appears as if generally the best evidence rule would be to have the original documents for the commissioners to admit same. So for the purpose of today's proceedings, is either we ask that the witness be discharged and brings back the original in the subsequent adjourned date, or we proceed with other matters related thereto, and then he can subsequently bring the originals. But I think you were advised to bring all these documents initially.
Yeah, but not in original form. I was not informed about that.
Okay, the ones that he cannot produce the originals, he can get the copies certified. My issue is with this first document that you have asked us to look at, pursuant to the fact that we may eventually admit the document. What is written on the heading of this document is handwritten, and the reference from which it is, copied from is what is written on this. And for us to be able to admit this in evidence, we must see the document and be able to cross-reference what was written here from the main document, from the main source document. So therefore, we could allow him, you could check the documents you have. The ones he doesn't have the originals, he could get these ones back and get them certified. The ones he can get the originals, we can admit this, and then he could bring the originals and we replace them. Or in any case, if you have any further issues with this witness, we can proceed on that, and then we put on hold the documents until he comes back tomorrow. We will give him a short period to put in these documents, and we can conclude with him.
Yes, thank you very much. The purpose of the proceedings today is just to dwell on the documents that he has brought. So therefore, this discussion will be primarily centered on the documents that he has brought vis-a-vis the motion letters, the transfer in relation to probably the budget line. I agree that the witness can bring a certified copy of its original. So probably my advice would be to have the matter adjourned and ask the witness that he brings all the original documents tomorrow and certify the ones that he does not have access to in relation to the originals.
So what we can do in this circumstance, given what you have explained, we could admit these documents, and he can make an undertaking to bring the evidence by tomorrow, failing which we will expunge the evidence that he might have given pursuant to these documents that we will admit.
Absolutely.
Yes, so you could tell him to make an undertaking to bring all the original documents, and for the ones that he cannot produce the originals, he certifies the photocopies and produces it to the commission.
Does that mean we are going to now admit all the photocopies for now?
Yes, but go through the documents and allow him to tell you which ones he cannot access the originals, so that he can certify them.
Yes. You have brought also your appointment letter dated the 26th day of September 2022. Is that correct? Yes. That as well is in its photocopy form. Do you have the originals?
Yes.
Do you have it with you?
Yes, I have the original. It's not here, but I have the original.
Can we have the original?
No, I don't have it with me here, but I have it at home.
Yes. If you are asked to bring the original by tomorrow, will you be able to bring the original?
Yes. But that one is with me already. It's
Very
at my
well.
disposal. I don't have to go for it elsewhere. It's already under my custody.
Madam Chair, and I applied to tender an appointment letter of the witness, Momodu Jallo, dated the 26th day of September 2022, into evidence as an exhibit.
The letter of appointment from the Ministry for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, dated the 26th of September 2022, with reference number LM 35/131/01 in brackets 82, with a caption appointment to the Local Government Service Commission, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MG/007.
007?
007.
As the court places. Madam Chair, may I apply to have the exhibit be shown to the witness? That same exhibit. Yes, the reason why you were asked to bring your appointment letter is because you've made an argument the last time that you were asked in your appointment letter that correspondences from your office or from the local government area council should be channeled through the office of the permanent secretary. Is that correct? Now, can you run us through where it is stated in that letter?
Yes, but I want to draw your attention. In fact, I've observed that this one is even in the original form.
Very well.
Yeah, the appointment letter is the original one, in fact. It's not the copy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll look into that.
So I go to, okay, like, after I read the whole letter or where the relevant?
Where the relevant?
Okay, that is. In the performance of the functions, the local government service commission.
Can you guide us which paragraph?
That is just below, that is 1, 2, 3, the third one.
The third paragraph?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Yeah, in the performance of its functions, the local government service commission shall, according to law, conform to standards established by the Public Service Commission. Pursuant to this, the tripartite arrangements between institutions, the Personnel Management Office, and the Public Service Commission will serve as a basis for the relationship between the councils, the ministry, and the Local Government Service Commission. Suffice for the above, all matters emanating from council and other bodies for the Local Government Service Commission shall be addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Regional Government. The Permanent Secretary shall in turn forward all such matters to the Commission for the Commission for consideration and decision making. In revised order, all decisions of the Commission shall be forwarded to the Permanent Secretary for conveyance to appropriate bodies.
So, going by what you have read before this commission,
yes,
it is stated in your appointment letter,
yes,
that correspondence is from your commission or the reverse order, which is from the local government service or local government area councils, should be channeled through the office of the permanent secretary.
Yes.
So, what do you say with respect to the deposition of the permanent secretary who testified or gave evidence before this commission that in fact it is the commission that authorizes the permanent secretary to act as an intermediary in relation to receiving communications?
Not this commission anyway.
So you are saying that is not correct?
It could be correct maybe with other commissions, but with this commission, no. Because in my appointment letter, before I even start, I cannot discuss the arrangements when I'm not even appointed.
Yes.
Because since this was stated in my appointment letter, clearly indicates that this commission never said that to the permanent secretary. In fact, I was notified of this during the time of appointment.
Very well. But then you have had the opinion that this arrangement is in fact not the best arrangement, based on your earlier testimony.
Yes, we could have better arrangements. Although it can be good, but it must be subject to so many things anyway.
Now, you also brought a letter,
Yes.
demotion and redeployment of one Kajali Jane, dated the 29th day of May 2023. Kajali, I believe, is the deputy CEO or was deputy CEO at KMC.
Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair, I applied to tender a demotion and redeployment letter dated the 29th day of May 2023 from the Public Service Commission through the Permanent Secretary into evidence as an exhibit. So again, we will need you to bring the original of this document
Yes.
by tomorrow.
The letter captioned demotion and redeployment addressed to Mr. Kajali Jawara from the Ministry for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, dated the 29th of May 2023, with reference number LM 35/131/01/temp, that is TEMP in brackets 3, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MJ/008. 008.
As the court pleases. May I have the exhibit be shown to the witness? Now, can you guide us through that letter in relation to how you arrive at the decision to demote and redeploy Kajali Drame, the then CEO of KMC?
It's Kajali Jane.
Jane, yes.
Yes. Okay, this decision, we reached this decision after a series of communications between the Commission and Mr. Kajali Jane, and at some point he was even invited to the Commission, and we had a hearing with him, and then he was given a warning that he should hand over on or before a particular date, of which he failed to comply, and as a result, then the Commission met again and took this disciplinary measure to demote him and also to redeploy him.
Very well. As of this current state now, where is Kajali Jane?
Kajali, I understand that he is still at KMC.
Do you know why?
Because I've seen a correspondence, that is the letter from their solicitor, addressed to the permanent secretary, questioning the legality or the legality of that decision, and also for the permanent secretary conveying the decisions.
Is that the letter you referred to from Senghor Law Practice?
Yes.
Very well. will you be able to avail us with the original copy by tomorrow?
Yes, I will try to contact the Office of the Permanent Secretary because they are having the original one.
Honorable Chairperson and Commissioners, I apply to tender a letter from Senghor Law Practice addressed to the Office of the Permanent Secretary, dated the 31st day of May 2023, headed demotion and redeployment, in evidence as an exhibit.
The letter with reference, the letter from Senghor Law Practice, dated the 31st of May 2023, with reference number 62/KMC/volume2/43/SLP, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MJ/YS/009.
As the Commission places. Now, may I apply that Exhibit 009 be shown to the witness? You now have in your possession the demotion and redeployment letter you've addressed to the Deputy CEO Kajali Jane.
Yes.
And the reply you've received through the Office of the Permanent Secretary from Senghor Law Practice. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, can you take us through the reply from the legal representative of KMC, Kanifing Municipal Council?
Okay. I read the whole letter. Huh?
You may, please.
Okay. This is from Senghor Law Practice, reference number 62/KMC/volume2/.
You may just proceed.
Ignore it.
Council, may we have, so that we gain time, since we have a lot of documents to admit, maybe we will just ask him to look at the relevant portion on the letter and refer the Commission to those.
Because as it appears, with respect to this letter, in fact, I realize every paragraph is very important for the commissioners to notice. It goes through attacking the legality of the demotion.
Okay,
and the redeployment.
he can quickly peruse.
Yes. So louder, please. We will want to.
Yeah, okay. Then the letter was written on the 31st May 2023, addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Regional Government, and it says there, sir, demotion and RA reference redeployment. We act for Kanifing Municipal Council. Your letter dated the 29th of May 2023, which was addressed to the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Council, has been forwarded to us with instructions to reply to same. Our instructions are to reiterate the provisions of Section 119 of the Local Government Act, which provides that the Local Government Service Commission shall be independent and shall not be subject to the direction and control of any person or authority. As stated in our earlier letter of 14th day of April 2023, your ministry does not have the authority or mandate to send letters on behalf of the Commission. We have thus advised our client to disregard any communications received by them from the ministry on matters of staff discipline purportedly under the instructions of the Commission. Further, as stated in our letter of 14th April 2023, the Local Government Service Commission does not have the power to take any disciplinary action against any officer of the Council in the absence of any recommendation made to it by the Establishment and Appointment Committee of the Council, pursuant to the provisions of Section 37 of the Local Government Act. There is also no provision of the Act which mandates the Commission to redeploy the Deputy Chief Executive Officer or any officer of the Council. We have advised the Council and the Deputy Chief Executive Officer that the instructions contained in your letter of 29th May 2023 are without authority or unlawful, and that same should be ignored. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer has therefore been instructed to disregard your letter and continue to fulfill his mandate at the Council. We are further instructed to pursue necessary legal action should you insist to pursue such illegal acts. Yours faithfully, Yasin Senghor.
So, in effect, what we have is you have taken an action as a commission to demote and redeploy the deputy CEO.
Yes.
Mr. Kajali Jan, is that correct?
Yes.
And then you've channeled that communication through the office of the permanent secretary as you have been instructed.
Yes.
And as soon as you have done that, you have received a letter through the permanent secretary challenging two authorities. Number one, the fact that in their opinion or in their position, the permanent secretary should not act as an intermediary between the commission and the KMC, which is the local government area councils.
Yes.
That is in paragraph, the third paragraph, wherein they said clearly, your ministry does not have the authority or mandate to send letters on behalf of the commission. We have advised our clients to disregard any communications received by them from the ministry. Is that correct? Is that correct?
That's their position.
Yes.
Yes.
So the second position is they also, in fact, questioned your authority as a commission in the fourth or subsequent paragraphs in the area of having even the power or the authority to demote or redeploy a staff of KMC. Is that correct?
Yes, according to
so
them.
in effect, what they said was that is the last paragraph of the first page. That there is also no provision of the Act which mandates the Commission to redeploy the Deputy Chief Executive Officer or any officer of the Council.
Yeah, that's what they said.
So in effect, what they were saying is you acted beyond your powers to try to sanction any disciplinary form of the people, the very staff that you have appointed.
Yes.
So now, what do you say to that?
No, I think they are just trying to create some delays or excuses. But for me, the Commission have the mandate to discipline the Deputy CEO.
Who appoints the CEOs or Deputy CEOs?
The Commission. And even that CEO in particular was appointed by the previous Commission, and his appointment letter was even written from the Office of the Permanent Secretary.
Does the area councils have the authority to appoint CEOs or deputy CEOs?
They don't.
So do they have the authority to redeploy them?
They don't.
Do they have the authority to sanction or discipline them?
They don't. Only the junior officers that they appoint.
Only the?
Junior officers that they appoint. That's category 1 and 2.
Category 1 and 2?
Yes.
Very well. Now, in your testimony or your evidence before this commission, prior to us going on a break, prior to us going on a break, you have told us that in the matter of the Kajali matter and Senator Martin's Sonko, you have decided that you will do a direct correspondence from the commission to the area council. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that was the first letter that we sent. That I had to engage the permanent secretary. Can I go ahead, or you are?
Please, yeah, please proceed.
Yes, I engaged the permanent secretary. I told him, for this letter, since you are a party to it, we want the letter to emanate directly from the commission to KMC. And then I was able to convince him, and that letter was written direct to KMC. But even with that letter, they disregarded.
No, but I am talking about the fact that when we interviewed you,
Yes.
In your last appearance, you've said clearly,
Yes.
because you felt that the Office of the Permanent Secretary or the Ministry of Lands were either an interested party in one way or the other in relation to this matter, you have decided that you will communicate directly with the local government area council.
Yeah,
That's what you said here.
that was for that particular letter.
No, but you didn't say that.
That's what I said. It
Well-
was for that particular letter, and that particular letter was signed by myself,
What is so unique about that particular letter?
because that was the interdiction issue, and they had issues with KMC. They've been communicating with KMC all along, push and pull, about the interdiction. So when it came to the commission and we took a decision, I advised him, since you are a party, for this letter, if you convey it, it may not tell well. So it's better for the commission to convey that letter directly. And then he accepted. And for that letter, we wrote and I signed, and it was sent directly to KMC. But that was the only letter.
Since they are a party to what?
To that interdiction issue.
Is the demotion and redeployment not emanating from the issues of the interdiction?
Not directly.
What do you mean when you say not directly?
No, what I mean is that was not the issue at that time.
No, what I
We
want to-
never had an issue of demotion at that time. But then the ministry, if I can recall, wrote to KMC, you see, reminding them that they don't have the authority to interdict these people, Senabu and Co., without the approval of the Service Commission. So there was a push and pull. The matter is even at court, if I can recall. I think it's
Mr. Jallo,
yes.
let's try to understand this point, and we move on to other issues. We have
Yes.
other documents to admit.
Okay.
The issue of Senator Martin Sonko and the Deputy CEO, Kajale Jane. The issue regarding the letters you have sent to Kajali in relation to trying to hand over to Senator Martin Sonko,
Yes.
and the issue of the interdiction, in relation to the demotion and redeployment of Kajali. These are all one compound issue. They are one and the same issue. Is that not correct?
Yeah, they are linked.
It's not that they are linked. It's just one and the same issue involving the same individuals and the same matter.
Yeah, but at the time of taking that decision,
Am I correct to say they are the same issue?
well, for me, I take it as they are linked.
Very well.
Yes.
Now, why did you demote and redeploy Kajali Jane?
Because he failed to adhere to the directions of the commission
And what were the directions of the commission?
for him to hand over.
And is that not the same thing? The same thing we're talking about. Because
No,
it's one and the same problem or issue. That is why you arrived at the demotion and redeployment of Kajali. Because Kajali, as far as you are concerned, is not abiding by your direction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Exactly. So let us not try to separate these issues. It's one and the same issue. My point now is, in that very issue, you have informed us that
Yes.
the Office of the Permanent Secretary or the Ministry of Local Government Service, Local Government Area Council, is in fact a party to these issues, and therefore it will be best to communicate directly to KMC,
Yeah,
which
that-
you did not do in this.
That was to convey the decision of the interdiction. That was the only reason why we said that we want to do that because since they have been pushing and pulled with the ministry, and they even went up to court. So we said to bring sanity and to make sure that at least we write directly to KMC on that matter at that time. It was only meant for that letter.
Are you saying that the issue of the interest or the purported interest by the ministry ceased to exist after after that letter was sent?
Yeah, that's my belief.
Good. So now, you were also equally asked to bring the letter transferring Senator Martin Sonko.
Or maybe that was an oversight. I did not record that, but I can still bring it.
No, but you were asked, you took notes on those on that day, and you brought all the documents that you were asked to bring, except the one that involved the transfer of Senator Martin Sonko.
No.
Why did you not bring those?
I did not even have that in my notes.
No, but you were asked. You were in the commission when you were asked to bring that document. You said you gave evidence and said clearly that Senator Martin Sonko was transferred. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And I have asked the question as to what brought about the transfer.
Yes.
And you said it was an independent decision taken by the commissioner. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And we've asked that you bring the letter transferring Senator Martin Sonko. Did we not ask you to bring the letter?
I can't remember that. Anyway.
You cannot remember that?
Yes, but I can still bring it. But I can't remember that, and it's not in my notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you bring the letter tomorrow, which means you'll have to appear again and bring the letter tomorrow?
Of course, I think I can do that.
Good.
Yeah.
So now, as we speak, the conclusion or the ongoing issue is that the Deputy CEO continues to work for KMC, is that correct? As the Deputy CEO?
That's my understanding anyway, because I did not have any communication from the Office of the Permanent Secretary informing us whether he have moved or otherwise. But for sure, I think that he is still there.
So what happened after you have received this letter dated the 31st day of May, 2023, Exhibit 009, in relation to Senghor law practice, questioning your authority and power to either discipline or demote the Deputy CEO or redeploy?
Yeah, this letter was sent to the address and sent to the Permanent Secretary, and the Commission Secretary did not receive this letter until the 20th of June. That's the time the Secretary received the letter.
20th June?
20th June, if I can recall exactly, 20th June.
You're saying...
But the Permanent Secretary minuted it on the 6th of June, you see, for the attention of the Commission. But because of the bureaucracy at the office, the letter did not get to the Secretary until 20th.
So you're saying it took almost a month before you received this letter?
Yes.
And
it coincided, I think the PS also traveled, but even though he minuted it on the 6th, according to what the letter.
Did you see the minute on the 6th?
Yes, I saw it.
You saw it was minute on the, where did you see that?
At the ministry.
So if you have seen the minute, you must have had access to the letter.
Yeah, I see. What I mean is, when I saw the letter, it was minuted on the letter on the 6th by the Permanent Secretary for the attention of the Commission. And then the Commission Secretary received the letter on the 20th of June, you see. So when he informed me that he have received the letter finally, then I went to the ministry to check the letter, and then so that we can come up with our next action.
When were you informed about the letter?
The letter, I think I saw it last week.
My point is, again, it took almost a month before you've had access to the correspondence from KMC.
Yes.
And do you think that is an effective system?
It's not at all, because I was even making follow-up. I will call the secretary, make follow-up so that we have this letter. Though it coincided with the Permanent Secretary traveling to Saudi, but finally he ended up receiving the letter. But after how many days?
So on the 20th You have received the letter. Did your office take any action in relation to that?
No, not yet.
And why is that?
Because when the letter was received by the secretary, there were some activities that were going on. I think the secretary was on track, and then the Tubaski, and then I had two of my members who are also sick. You see, so we could not.
Did you sit
at that time?
From the 20th of June?
Yes.
Did you have any sitting till date?
No, not yet.
Now, let's just conclude on the issue of this letter. In relation to whether you have the powers to either redeploy or discipline staff that you appoint, I will refer you to Section 118 of the Local Government Act.
Yes.
Is in volume 5, cap 3301.
Yes.
Where in subparagraph 3, it states the functions and powers of the Local Government Service Commission. And they are: A, to make appointments to offices in the local government service; B, make provisions for the overall management and efficacy of the local government service; and set up general and uniform guidelines for appointment, promotion, and discipline. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, do you think that it is you don't have the authority to discipline or redeploy staff that you appoint?
We have the authority.
Thank you. So now let's move on. You now also brought other documents.
Yes.
The one dated the 5th day of May 2023, titled Request to Revise Current Issue or Current or Issues New Regulations. And the reference is LGSC/001 Part 3, bracket 40. Do you have the original of this letter?
It should be at the ministry.
Yes. Can you bring the original tomorrow? Will you be able to bring it tomorrow?
Yeah, after break, I will call the secretary.
Will you? How you do it? To be honest,
Yes.
really, it depends entirely on you. But will you be able to bring it tomorrow?
I will endeavor. They are not all the documents are at my disposal, but I will endeavor to bring them.
Mr. Jallo, you are the chairperson,
Yes.
and it's not a matter of endeavoring.
Yes.
We either will admit these documents based on the fact that you will make an undertaking to bring the original, or we'll ask you to bring the original itself. So which one will you prefer?
Whether to?
It's either you make an undertaking to bring the original tomorrow, or we will suspend this issue and you bring the original itself tomorrow.
No, we go ahead. We'll get them. They are at the ministry.
Will you bring the original tomorrow, Mr. Jala?
Of course, I will try and bring them.
Thank you very much. Madam Chairperson, I apply to tender a letter from the Local Government Service Commission to the Permanent Secretary with the heading request to revise current/issue new regulations, dated the 5th day of May 2023, signed by the Secretary of the Local Government Service Commission, comments D, in evidence as an exhibit. And can you please also hand over some of the documents you have to the clerk?
They are here.
The letter dated the 5th of May 2023, addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, with reference number LGSC/001, Part 3, Folio 40, and signed by Gomez D, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MJ/DG/010.
Ask the Commission. May we have Exhibit 010 to be shown to the witness? Yeah, so this is the letter you have said, you have highlighted your queries in relation to the regulation, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you just guide us through the relevant paragraph where you have outlined your concerns?
Okay. This letter was written on the 5th May, addressed to the Permanent Secretary and marked very urgent.
Yes.
Request to revise current or / issues new regulations. Either to revise or to issue new regulations. I would like to draw your attention to some concerns raised at its recent meeting of Thursday, 4th May 2023, where commissioners observed with grave concern certain deficiencies in the Local Government Service Commission regulations of 2010. This is affecting the operations of the Commission and therefore requires urgent attention and appropriate action. Further, I herein refer you to Section 1741 of the Local Government Act 2002 as amended, which reads, the Secretary of State may make regulations for the better carrying into effect of the provisions of this Act. This clearly empowers the Honorable Minister to revise or issue regulations as and when necessary. This is necessitated by the fact that the current regulations are quoting the Local Government Service Act, which doesn't seem to exist, and therefore its legality could be questioned or challenged.
Very well. That's all right. So in that letter, you highlighted your concerns in relation to the regulations.
Yes. And further advised the Honorable Minister to liaise with his counterpart, the Minister of Justice, you see, for further advice.
When did you say that it came to your knowledge that the said regulation was in fact not based on any act?
Yeah, it came to our knowledge earlier than this, but then we were searching for the act all along. So, but we've contacted many people, but we could not trace the act. And during this meeting, we said it's better to write formally and request for the Honorable Minister to revise or to issue new regulations. And whilst we were looking at the Act, we also saw this relevant section of 174.1, which we thought could be the basis for issuance or to revise these regulations.
When you say earlier than this, what do you mean? How early was that?
Yeah, this was some 2 months before this. We knew that there were issues.
And this letter was written on the 5th day of May, 2023?
Yes.
And you were appointed when?
In September.
Which year?
2022. But we received some of these working documents around November, December, and even some of them 3 months back.
Very well. You may return that exhibit. You also brought minutes of meetings of Local Government Service Commission dated the 28th day of December 2022, which was on a Tuesday.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said that is the one that you have discussed, the issue of Senator Martin Sonko. Is that the one?
Yes, it's one of them.
Where are the originals of these minutes?
They are the ministry.
They are?
With our secretary. Yeah.
Louder, please.
They are with our secretary.
Can you bring a copy of the original by tomorrow?
Yes.
Very well. Madam Chair and the Commissioners, I apply to tender minutes of meetings of Local Government Service Commission dated Tuesday, the 28th day of December 2022, in evidence as an exhibit.
Council, can you put them in a bundle because you have another one which is dated?
Yes, we have 2
Yes, put
meetings.
them in
Very well. So the one on the 9th day of May 2023 as well is minutes of Local Government Service Commission. So you also have original copies?
Yes.
Very well. Please bring them tomorrow.
Okay.
We apply that the one dated the 28th and the one dated the 9th of May 2023 be admitted in a bundle as an exhibit.
The minutes of the Local Government Service Commission meeting dated the 28th of December 2022, held at the conference room of the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Employment. Sorry, let me take that again. The minutes of the Local Government Service Commission meeting of the 28th of December 2022, held at the conference room of the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle, and the minutes of the Local Government Service Commission held on the 9th of May 2023 are hereby admitted in evidence in a bundle and marked as LGC/MJ/LGCSC in brackets M/011.
As the Commission places, may I apply that the bundled exhibit 001 be shown to the witness? Yes, you have said that the minutes of the 28th of, is it 28th of
December.
December?
Yes.
But then the one before that, is it the 9th of May?
That is May.
9th of May.
2023. The May is 2023.
Yes. And then the 28th is 2022.
Yes.
Yes. Can you said therein you have discussed the issue of cerebral matters.
Yes. You know, during my testimony,
Right.
I made mention of we started investigating the corruption allegations. And then we were informed that the Commission of Inquiries is in the making, and then it would be a duplication of efforts so that we cannot just hear it, and it's one of the reasons why the commission is to be formed.
Yes.
So, and you wanted evidence of that, whether the discussions took place.
Yes.
Yes, and this is the evidence that we on this meeting, we started looking at the fraud allegations on this meeting date.
Yes. Can you refer us to the relevant paragraph as well? Or page?
Yeah, here on page 2.
Page 2, yes. Please proceed.
Okay, page 2, the last paragraph,
Yes.
where it said, thus the Commission, in an attempt to come up with its recommendations on the way forward regarding the situation at hand, would need to look into the following. 1, the interdiction of the CEO and others, the inspection report on the KMC fraud allegations dated October 2021, setting up of the Commission of Inquiries by the Ministry, and a copy of the summons from KMC to the High Court, and the 2 court rulings regarding the allegations by the Mayor and Deputy Mayor by the CEO. The Commission observed that it is solely responsible for Council staff only and not the policy arm of Council. That is the mayors and the chairperson. Then we are requesting for some documents also. That is the next paragraph. The apology letter from the CEO and Director of Finance. Then the court rulings were mentioned earlier. Then the minutes of the directors meeting regarding the issue, and also the guarantee letter to Ajib Bank.
Yes. Can you turn to page 1 with respect to the agenda for the meeting?
Yeah, the agenda for the meeting was the opening remarks, adoption of the agenda, review of the previous minutes, interdiction of Seinabu Martin Sonko and AOB.
Where is where in the agenda did you see in relation to the fraud allegations against Seinabu Martin Sonko?
No, it was not mentioned in the agenda, but whilst we were presiding over the meeting, we thought that
it came up.
Yes, we thought that we need to do the fraud allegations also. You see, that was why we were requesting for all those documents so that we can do the thorough investigations and to make certain verifications on some of the allegations as stated in the report.
So we
are trying to review the report itself. You see.
So let's first start with the agenda.
Yes.
Page 1. Then we'll move now to the subsequent discussions.
Okay.
Was the issue of the fraud allegation part of the agenda?
Initially, it was not.
So it is not part of the agenda?
Yes.
Was the issue of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co of KMC part of the agenda?
Yes.
Good. Now, why was it not part of the agenda, the issue of the fraud allegations?
Yeah, because we were asked to look at the issue of the interdiction.
By
the ministry.
By the ministry?
Yes.
When you say the ministry, what do you mean?
Yeah, it was both the permanent secretary and the minister.
That asked you to look into the issue of the interdiction?
Of the interdiction.
They didn't ask you to look into the issue of the fraudulent allegations?
No, they did not send us all the details for that.
Did they ask you to look into the issue of the fraudulent allegations?
Not initially, no.
As at the time of the meeting, let's just be very frank. See, this is an evidence gathering commission. You are here as a witness just to state the facts.
Yes.
You understand? You and I don't make decisions here. The commissioners will make determinations. I don't draw conclusions, neither does my lead counsel draw conclusions. So just state the facts as they are and we move. Is that all right?
Yes.
Good. So the agenda. In the agenda, you were asked by the minister and the permanent secretary of which ministry?
Lands and regional government.
To discuss the issue of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and Co.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And therefore, it was part of the agenda.
Yes.
But the minister and the permanent secretary did not ask you to discuss the issue of the fraud allegations against Senator Martin Sonko and Co.
No.
Good.
Because they said that will be the commission that should
Now,
do that.
before we proceed to the subsequent discussions, which gave rise to possible fraudulent allegations, how does the commission develop an agenda for meetings?
Based on the issues at hand.
How do you have issues at hand?
Because the one will have information or letters forwarded to the commission, or issues that are forwarded to the commission. We take those issues and then come up with an agenda for any subsequent meeting.
Now, the issue of you being informed by the permanent secretary and the minister to discuss the issue of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and Co. of KMC, how was that communication done? Was it a written communication or was it an informal communication?
It was during a meeting.
A meeting with
the Honorable Minister and the Permanent Secretary.
And so you were instructed to discuss this issue?
Yeah, because when we had that meeting, that issue came up. That we've been hearing about the case, and it was never brought to the attention of the commission, of the previous commissions. You see, and we also even raised those concerns. I think issues of such nature should be brought to the commission.
Absolutely.
Yes, then that was the time the minister also instructed the permanent secretary, you see, to forward the issue to the commission so that we look at it. But it was mainly about the issue of the interdiction at that time.
So you were saying at that time you were never given any communications regarding these issues?
Formal communication.
Yes.
There was no letter written to that effect. But it was discussed at a meeting. Yes. That is why in the minutes on page 2,
yes,
on number 2, there's the first paragraph. Number 3, where we stress all communications between the commission and the ministry should be formalized. And we've communicated this to the permanent secretary because we did not receive the minutes of that meeting, and then we thought they need to be writing to us officially rather than in a meeting form on that. That was our first issue.
Now, in the opening of your meeting on the 28th day of December 2022, that is on the first page.
Yes.
It was stated clearly that the meeting began at 11:19 a.m. with individual prayers. The chairperson welcomed all commissioners present at the meeting. I believe that's you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And he informed colleagues that this meeting was as a result of the forwarding of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and Co.
Yes.
On suspected fraud allegations to the commission by the permanent secretary. So I don't understand why the fraudulent issue was not an issue on the agenda to be discussed. Is it not cherry picking, trying to discuss the issue of the interdiction, which was of an interest to the ministry, and not the issue of the fraudulent allegation, which probably was not an interest?
No, I think they were interested in the fraudulent issue. That is why they were pushing for the formation of a commission of inquiry.
No, but you said to me,
yes. Yes.
that what you were instructed to look into was the issue of the interdiction,
yes.
and not the issue of the fraudulent allegation.
Well, it was about the interdiction.
That's what I'm saying. You
yes.
have two issues here to address.
Yes.
You have an issue of fraud, and you have an issue of interdiction.
Yes.
You understand? And now, it seems more of a cherry picking, trying to decide which one you have an interest in. And therefore, you had in your agenda the issue of the interdiction, which is of seemed to be of urgent matter, but the fraud allegations were never discussed as an issue of an agenda.
No, it was not as an agenda.
Yes.
But it was discussed during.
That's what I'm saying. How do you explain that?
You see.
How do you explain that? How do you explain choosing or prioritizing the interdiction and not prioritizing the fraudulent allegations?
No, because we were trying to review the whole documents that were at our disposal at that time. You see, but the issue at hand was about the interdiction. But you cannot discuss the interdiction.
No, the issue at
also.
hand,
Yes.
as you were instructed,
Yes, was the interdiction.
about the interdiction.
Yes.
As the chairperson of the
Yes.
Local Government Service Commission.
Yes.
Now I ask you the question:
Yes.
was the issue of the fraudulent allegation also
Yes.
an urgent issue to be discussed as well?
Yes, it was also very urgent.
Yes. So these two, the issue of the interdiction and the issue of the fraudulent allegation, which one was more important than the other, as far as you were concerned?
No, for me, I think the fraud is more urgent.
So why did you not put the fraud as a matter of a matter to be discussed in the agenda?
Yeah, but because what was forwarded to us to look at was the interdiction.
No, but that's not correct, because in your opening remarks,
Yes.
you said in the minutes that as a result, that he informed colleagues that this meeting was as a result of the forwarding of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co. on suspected fraudulent allegations.
Yeah, maybe it could have gone further to state the interdiction, but if you go further in the minutes.
No, my point is the fraud allegations were also as well stated by your very self in the opening remarks.
Yeah, it was mentioned. Maybe it was not.
But never prioritized.
It was not all recorded.
No, but never prioritized.
Of course, it was prioritized, but that was the main reason it was forwarded to us, and that is why even.
Will you agree with me?
Yes.
That it deserved to be on the agenda?
Yes, it should have been in the agenda. It's important.
And so it is a lapse on your side to not put it up on the agenda.
No, because at that time we were.
It is a lapse
asked,
on your side to not put it on the agenda for discussion. Just agree, we move on.
No, at that time it was not.
It was
Because
not.
what was at hand was to look at the interdiction. But whilst we were looking at the interdiction, we thought we should also look at the fraudulent allegations, because that is the reason for the interdiction.
Now let's
and
go.
that is why if you go to page 2,
Yes.
the second paragraph,
Right.
you see, they said at this stage, the chairman informed commissioners that the purpose of convening this meeting is to look into the interdiction of the CEO, Mrs. Senabu Martin Sonko, and others.
Just proceed. You will realize that when you proceed,
Yes.
you only are interested in the fact that the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko did not follow due process. Just proceed.
Not only that.
No, just proceed. Proceed with your reading.
Senabu Martin,
You
okay,
will-
and others, and the manner in which they were evicted from office. The meeting observed that both KMC and the ministry did not follow the due process by not involving the commission from the onset.
Exactly. So let me read louder for you again.
Yes.
This is in paragraph 2, Madam Chair. Page 2 and the second paragraph. That at this stage, the chairman informed the commissioners that the purpose of convening this meeting is to look into the interdiction of the CEO, Ms. Senabu Martin Sonko, and others, and the manner in which they were evicted from office. The meeting observed that both KMC and the ministry did not follow the due process by not involving the commission from the onset. So
Yes.
the point is, the discussions were just primarily centered on the fact that the interdiction was irregular, it didn't follow procedure, and so on and so forth.
The interdiction was not regular.
So
But the commission also,
you
if you
telling-
go further.
Go ahead, let me listen to you.
If you go further, we've mentioned, let me check where that is.
If you go further, what you will now see is that you didn't even discuss the issue of the fraud allegation as you have told the commissioners. You just highlighted the issue of the fraud allegations to be discussed. Do you see that?
No. Let me check the relevance.
You said in the subsequent, Mr. Jallo, may I have your attention?
Okay, let's check page 3.
No, let me have you. Okay, you go to page 3 first and
Yes,
we'll come back.
Page 3, we start from page 3, the last paragraph.
Yes.
On the allegations leveled against the CEO and others, a general council meeting was held where a resolution was passed. The fraud investigation was investigated all those things. Was it right or wrong regarding the 12 million? It was observed that the intention was to purchase land for the staff. However, the commission observed that the CEO did so without prior approval of council. It was observed that KMC incurred liabilities of $985,000 is $580. This was according to the report.
Yes.
Yes, and thus the commission need to liaise with the bank to ascertain such amounts. It was agreed to request through the ministry requesting for letters from KMC to the bank to stop the said loan and bank statement surrounding the 12 million. The documents are to be used as a benchmark for the $985,000 which has to be established or verified. On the alleged 30,000 bribe given by Almond to the CEO, the commission will engage both the CEO and Aliu Danso of Almond to verify the claim. The commission will also be interested to talk to both parties, that is, Mr. Danso as well as the executive of KMC Staff Welfare Association, with the view to conduct further findings in order to establish how much was paid to Mr. Aliu Danso of Almond, find out where the money was paid into after deduction of staff salaries, find out what is the status of the land in question, assess the copy of the agreement signed between KMC Staff Welfare Association and Almond, and look into the alleged forged letter to the bank.
Yes, so this follows from page 2.
Yes.
So these issues were not in fact discussed. They were issues that are supposed to be dealt with. What you were reading is you as a commission looking into the investigative report, right? Is that not correct?
Yes.
Exactly. So you said on page 2, that was what I wanted to read to you, that the commission, in an attempt to come up with its recommendations on the way forward regarding the situation at hand, would need to look into the following issues.
Yes.
And these are the issues that you were highlighting subsequently.
Yes.
Is that not correct?
We should meet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so now,
yes,
at any given point in time, because if you look at the issues you've highlighted, you said you will now need to look into to establish how much was paid, find out where the money was paid into, find out what is the status of the land in question, access the copy of the agreement. Now, this was supposed to be done at a subsequent investigation by the commission. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Exactly. So now, was this done?
No, it was not done. It was after this that we halted the issue of the investigation of the fraud allegations.
Sorry,
was.
Council. Can I
Yes,
just come
please
in?
proceed.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Jallo, you referred to the in your minutes here. You referred to the fraud allegation report.
Yes.
Can you avail us the report?
Yes, I think you have it.
Is the report submitted?
It was submitted either by me or the ministry. It was submitted.
Yes, we will try and confirm that, Madam Chair, and then if we will try and confirm that. My lead is telling me
Yes.
that we have.
Please confirm with the registrar so that before the close of day with him, we can request for him to produce the report.
Yes. Very well,
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Thank you so
you.
much. Yes. So you were saying that you never had time to discuss these issues because probably it was after which the commission was set up. Is that not correct?
No, then we were informed.
Yes.
That the commission will be set up.
Yes.
And one of their functions is to investigate these fraud allegations at KMC and others.
And also the interdiction as well. The issues surrounding Sarah Martin and Co., the fraudulent allegations, and the interdiction procedures and so.
No, we were not told about the interdiction, but about the fraudulent allegations, although they are linked.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're the same. Now, when you were informed, my point is you never discussed these issues. So when you were informed that there will be commission dealing into the fraudulent allegations and related matters,
Yes.
but you still continued to take action in relation to the interdiction or the alleged unlawful procedure by KMC to interdict Senator Martin Sonko. Evidence is that the series of correspondences that you have wrote to KMC and to Kajali, Jane as well in relation to the interdiction. Is that not correct?
Yes.
But then the issue of the fraud allegation, you cease to take any further step on that.
Yeah, you know, when we are looking at the report,
I don't know whether you get my point. My point is,
yes,
here you have one big issue, which has so many sub-issues. The issue of Senator Martin Sonko's interdiction it seems to crop out from the alleged fraudulent allegations by her very self or any other person that may be involved. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And so there was also the issue of the fact that the procedure that was adopted by KMC was totally wrong,
yes,
which you've highlighted. So
yes,
here you are faced with two issues that came out from the same transaction, fraudulent issues from the same individual, same parties, KMC, the council there, and the staffs involved, and the allegations of fraud, the same parties as well, KMC, council, and the staffs involved.
Yeah, because we also received a letter from the KMC Establishment Committee. You see, that was dated on the 12th December, if I can recall, exactly 12th December, about the interdiction.
Yes, my point
Yes.
is, I agree with you. I agree, we are not discussing that. My point is, you said that you were informed of a setting up of a local government a commission of inquiry.
Yes.
And therefore, you couldn't further look into the issue of the fraud as planned.
Yes.
Right? But you went ahead to still take steps in addressing the issues of the inappropriate decisions being taken by KMC, the irregularities, and so on and so forth. You didn't stop on those ones.
No, we didn't stop on that one because KMC even wrote to that effect.
You didn't stop on those ones, even though you had knowledge that there would be a commission of inquiry. You
Yes.
didn't stop.
Yeah, that's why we were asked that we can look at the interdiction, but for the issue of the fraud, the commission will look at that, which is more detailed.
No,
Yes,
see,
yes.
the reason why you did not look at the issue of the fraud is because there was no interest of that sort. That is a hard fact, because even as this commission was set up, you still take steps to redeploy, to demote, and to transfer the very parties that are involved. So you were not relenting on your decisions. You still further took steps, even when the first commission was no more, and this commission was up and running, which you were aware of. You were still taking steps in relation to the interdiction, and this commission was looking into the interdiction and related matters.
No, I'm not getting you clearly.
My point is, you were acting on instructions, as you've said,
Yes.
to look into the matter of the interdiction. That is why you looked into those matters.
Yeah, there were two issues.
Yes.
One, we were instructed to look at the interdiction, and at the same time, we received that letter from KMC was also forwarded to us, to the commission, to look into the issue of the interdiction. These are the two reasons.
Were you aware that the first commission that was to be set up did not materialize?
Yes, I think that's why we stated that we need to. We stated something about that. We need something.
By the time you stated that in this letter, this was what date is that in the meeting?
This was 28 December.
28 December 2022.
Yeah, that is page 2.
And you were saying that is why you stated that in the letter that you need to look into it. Is that correct?
The issues surrounding
the fraud,
the
fraud allegations.
That commission of the formation of that commission of inquiry.
Yes.
We wanted to see the documents
Yes.
and their terms of reference, things like that. We wanted to know something about that.
2022, December. Since 2022, you never, or have you ever looked into the issues of the fraud allegations?
No.
Good.
And I said that it's because of the setting up of this commission
Yes.
that was to be tasked to look at the issue.
Which of the commissions? This one?
This one, yes.
Mr. Jallo, see,
Maybe you are not getting me clearly.
I am getting you clearly.
No.
You were saying because
Yes.
of the setting up of this commission, that's why you didn't look into it.
Yes.
But the setting up of this commission didn't stop you from transferring Senator Martin Sonko or transferring and demoting Kajali Jane
Yeah, because that was sent to us to look at
by
both KMC and the ministry
when?
in December.
In December.
Yes.
In December, the same December 2022.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, you are saying you failed to take further actions on the fraud allegations because this commission of inquiry was set up.
Was to be set up.
Yes.
Yes.
So you could have just not also taken any further steps in relation to the other matters, in relation to the interdiction, because this commission has been set up.
No, that was not the decision of the commission at that
Exactly, because the decision of the commission was biased. That's the hard fact. You were
No,
only
I don't
acting.
agree.
I am telling you,
Yes.
that's my opinion. You can disagree with that. My point is, your argument is what I am not agreeing with. I may be wrong. Your argument that because of the setting of this commission, that is why you are not looking into the foreign allegations, is not correct. So you may have any other reason, but don't use this commission setting up for not doing your job, because the same commission was being set up to look into all these issues, but you still chose to interdict, you still chose to demote and transfer the parties that are involved. You didn't wait.
But I told you the issue at hand was the interdiction.
That's my point.
So that's what was forwarded to us to look at.
Yes, I
And
think
we were looking
I
at
think
that.
we have belabored that issue
Exactly.
too much, so we can proceed. But before we proceed, let me ask Mr. Jallo.
Yes.
Mr. Jallo, the report on the inspection exercise and fraud allegation at the KMC, I am being informed by lead counsel that it has been admitted in evidence.
Yes.
And it is marked LGC/MJ/002. Did the commission have at any point in time the opportunity to look at this report? Because this is dated October 2021, and the minutes of the meeting dated Tuesday 28 December 2022, which means the inspection report on the fraud allegation preceded the Service Commission meeting of Tuesday 28 December 2022.
Yes.
So did you at any point table this report with a view to looking at the issues that were raised in this report?
Yes.
And, okay. And
yes,
then,
because
yes.
when we look at the report, we were reviewing the report.
Yes.
Whilst we were reviewing the report, that's where we have all these informations. You see, all these relevant information that we need to thoroughly investigate. It was
Yes.
as a review of the report. That's why we came up with some of these.
Mr. Jallo, I believe that
recommendations.
what council is trying to put across is the fact that for the minutes of the meeting of the local government service commission, which was held on the 28th of December 2022,
Yes.
it failed to capture the issue of the fraud allegation at the KMC as a matter to be discussed in your agenda. And selectively, you just discuss the interdiction of Senabu Martin. So I believe what the council is trying to put across to you
Yes.
is that it's either there was an omission or an error for you not to have table, because you already had a document very explicit, very direct, very clear on what has transpired. And we are amazed by the fact that this matter came up well before October, and this report was provided in October 2021, and you only had a meeting in December 2022 to deal with these issues as a commission. What can you tell us about that?
This report was presented to the ministry. Almost after 1 year, we were appointed in office. I don't know what transpired between the previous commission. There was a commission in 2021.
Wait a minute. You said
Yes.
this report,
Yes,
after the completion of the work of the
Yes.
people that were assigned to do this report,
yes.
it was presented 1 year after. Is that what you are telling the commission?
No, to us.
To you?
Yes. Then we were not in office. There was another commission that was there. What I mean is when the report was done, it was after 1 year then we were appointed into office.
Yes, but in December 2020, 28, in 2002,
Yes,
you were already in office, right?
yes,
And you had the opportunity of reading this report
yes.
before you sat for this meeting, right?
No, it was during the meeting. that
So
we
you
had
never
the
had a
report.
copy of this report?
No. It was during that meeting, then the documents were photocopied from the
But-
file,
Yes.
and then this report was also in that document. In
But
that
you
file.
told us that you made mention of some issues as a result of what you found in this report. So it was on the day of the
Meeting,
that
we-
you were availed this report.
And we were reviewing it on that day, page by page.
Thank you. Council, can you proceed?
Yes.
You
So
can proceed to the next one.
you said that the reason why you proceeded with the interdiction is because KMC wrote to you regarding interdiction. Is that correct?
Yes, they also wrote.
Yes. Do you have the letter with you?
I don't have it with me here.
So did they write to you on or about the month of December 2022?
12 December, I think.
Let me show you a letter.
Yes.
Have a look at this letter. I think it's already been exhibited. And tell us whether this is the letter that you have received from them. You can
Yes.
see the heading.
Yes, it's this
That
one.
is the one.
Yes.
Good. What is that? What is the heading of the letter?
Recommendation for an interdiction of Senabu Martin Sonko and for her to proceed on administrative leave.
And to whom was it addressed to?
It was addressed to the chairman, Local Government Service Commission.
Yes. Let me have that letter. So, so it is your evidence that, as far as you're concerned, you were asked to look into the interdiction by KMC.
By KMC and the ministry.
Yes, but you were not asked to look into the fraudulent allegations by KMC.
No. But when we started the issue.
Let's just take it one at a time.
Okay, Karen.
Good. Now, Madam Chair, this letter, I believe is already in evidence. We were trying to look for the number, but apparently we will avail the commission with the relevant citation.
Can you please refrain from dealing with the document that we are not sure whether it is admitted, so that we could not deal with evidence that is not before the commission?
So, Madam Chair, the letter now is a photocopy that we have. We will ask if the chairperson permits. We will ask the witness to bring an original of this letter. But if you permit as well, we may as well tender the photocopy, pending the witness bringing the original of the letter.
Yes, if the witness undertakes to bring the original, if it is available,
Yes.
and he can have access to it, then we can admit the document.
Can you produce this original letter?
Yeah, I will liaise with the secretary and the PS to get the original.
So you can produce it by tomorrow.
I will endeavor to do that.
Very well. I apply to tender the letter dated the 12th day of December 2022 into evidence as an exhibit. The heading is recommendation for an interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and for her to proceed on administrative leave. It has been identified by the witness as being the one that they received from KMC. So we will ask that you bring the original by tomorrow.
The letter written by Kajali Jane, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of KMC, and copied to the Lord Mayor and to the Honorable Minister, Local Government, Lands and Religious Affairs, dated the 12th of December 2022, with reference number BZ28/119/01, and caption, recommendation for an interdiction of Senabu Martin Sonko and for her to proceed on administrative leave, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LG/MJ/KMC/012.
As the commission places, may I apply to have the letter be shown to the witness? So, in this letter that you have identified as being the one that you have received from KMC, right?
Yes.
Can you refer us to the relevant paragraph wherein you are instructed to look into the issues of the interdiction?
Maybe this one I can read the letter. It's a short one.
What?
I said it's a short one. I can go through it.
Please.
Yes. The heading is Recommendation for an Interdiction of Senabu Martin Sonko and for her to proceed on administrative leave. I write to convey the decision of the Establishment and Appointment Committee, which has resolved for the interdiction of the CEO, Senabu Martin Sonko, to proceed on an administrative leave with immediate effect, and for her to be paid a monthly salary until a decision is made on her case by the Commission. The decision was reached during an emergency meeting convened today, Monday, 12 December 2022, at the Conference Room 1. The Ministry has earlier on conducted an investigation on the allegations against her, and the matter was concluded with a report submitted at the Ministry of Local Government and Lands and Regional Affairs. The Council will appreciate for you to look into those reports. In fact, the Council would like to share the view that since the allegations leveled against Mrs. Senabu Martin Sonko has to do with the entire Staff Welfare Association of the Council, the good working relationship and trust has seriously changed. This, we think, will be quite impossible to cement the already broken relationship. We thank you and look forward to your timely intervention on this matter.
So going
Kajabi, Jani, Deputy CEO.
So going by that letter,
Yes.
were you asked to look into the interdiction alone, or were you asked to look into the interdiction and the alleged fraudulent allegation?
By this letter, we were asked to look into the interdiction.
Were you?
And in the process,
Yes.
in the process, they inform us that there is a report that was produced after an inspection, so that we make sure that we have that report.
So the letter asks you to look into two things: the
Yes.
issue of the interdiction and the fraudulent allegation.
And the report, yes.
So it was not just the issue of the interdiction, as
No,
you have
the issue-
highlighted.
The issue was to look at the interdiction. That's the main.
I'm not asking what is the main issue
Objective
and
of
what
the
is the
letter.
sub-issue.
Yes.
Were you asked to look into the issue of the fraudulent allegation and the issue of the interdiction?
The interdiction.
You were not asked to look into the issue of the fraudulent allegation.
No, we were asked to
You have
refer.
just read
Yes.
the letter.
Yes.
Maybe you have forgotten in the beginning, but now you have seen the letter, and it has probably will help you to recall the contents of the letter. It will be very unfair for you to just read the wording of the letter clearly, know what it says, and want to depart from it. It doesn't help anyone. Did they mention the issue of the fraudulent allegations in that letter?
Yes, they said we should look at the report.
Did they mention the issue of the fraudulent allegation and the
Yes.
report thereto in the letter?
Yes.
And the letter was addressed to your office?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Can you return that exhibit? Madam Chair, I have no further question for this witness. Probably my lead will have questions, or the commissioners.
I think there is an additional document.
Oh yes, the budget, recurrent budget detail.
Yes.
Yes, can you bring us a certified copy of this recurrent budget estimate?
Sorry, what do you mean by certified?
Because the one you gave us is an extract, you said.
Yes, it's a booklet.
Yes.
Budget is the national budget.
Yeah.
It's in a booklet form.
Yeah, so we need a certified copy. So probably the clerk will explain to you after the sentence as to how you can get it certified.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Do we need to, because since he's bringing some documents tomorrow, we can admit them once and for all, rather than admitting this one.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
The commissioners, if there are any questions. I have one or two questions for Mr. Jallo. You referred to a letter that was written on the 14th of April 2023. Can you avail us that letter?
Regarding what? Where was that mentioned?
Where
was that mentioned?
During the course of your evidence and during the council putting questions to you, you referred to when you were discussing the issue of the letter that you were in receipt of, indicating that the KMC would not comply with the instructions you have given. Was there any letter that was written on the 14th of April 2023 which you are in receipt of?
Written from KMC or from this commission?
It can be from the KMC or the ministry, whichever it is.
Well, I cannot recall that.
Okay, can you please check whether there is any letter that is written on the 14th of April 2023? And please make it available if you...
14th April?
Yes. 14th of April 2023. Now, Mr. Jallo, the letter you received from the council to KMC did make reference, that is exhibit LGC/MG/YS/009.
Yes.
In paragraph 3 of the said letter, it referred the commission to section 119 of the Local Government Act. Having been referred to this provision, what step did you take as a commission to indicate to the ministry what your role and responsibilities were? Did you take any step to address what was referred to in this letter?
That was the demotion, or?
No. Yes, the demotion and redeployment. I said in that letter, which has been admitted in evidence, which is an exhibit now.
Yes.
It referred you to the provisions of the Local Government Act, particularly section 119, which refers to the independence of the local service of the Service Commission.
Yes.
What steps did you take to deal with that issue with the ministry?
Yeah, for us, we are independent in our decisions. The minister, we are very independent in our decisions. We are not dictated or directed by anybody when we are taking our decisions.
So now, did you reply to this letter from your office?
No, not yet. The letter was addressed to the permanent secretary.
So that is why I asked the question, Mr. Jam.
And then the permanent secretary...
No, just listen,
Okay.
please. I asked the question
Yes.
because of the fact that the legislation is very clear. And the letter is saying you are an independent body, you are supposed to take responsibility and charge of the responsibility accorded to you by the legislation. And now I am telling you, did you reply to this letter?
Not yet.
Why?
Because the letter was even received by our secretary on the 20th of June, almost close to 1 month after it was sent to the permanent secretary.
So is it correct that the letters should be addressed to the permanent secretary and not to the ministry?
Yeah, it's addressed to the ministry. That's
to the commission.
to the
sorry.
commission. Yeah, I think
Is it
earlier...
correct? Is it correct that it should be addressed to the ministry and not to the commission direct?
Well, I cannot say whether
To
it's
avoid
correct,
conflict?
whether it's correct or not, but that is the norm. You see, and in my appointment letter, that was what was stated, that the correspondence should go through the office of the permanent secretary to the commission, and from the commission to the permanent secretary, and they were quoting the PSC, PMO, you see, arrangement.
So now, but if that is the norm,
But it's slow, it's very slow.
Yes, that is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Now, my further question is,
Yes.
if that was the norm, it has now been put to you that the law is saying something different. So what is your position?
Well, if the law says something different, we should go by the law.
So now, having read the law and having received this letter, what is supposed to be your position?
Yeah, maybe it is, I don't know, subject to interpretation, because for us, we are with the belief that we are independent. The decisions we take are independent, but they are administrative procedures. And the ministry, being the supervisor and the coordinator of councils, have that administrative role. The commission doesn't have administrative responsibility. So maybe that is why the ministry is taking that role, because they are the supervisors, and to ensure that there is implementation. Because for the commission, we don't implement, you see. We don't have that supervision on the operations, you see, day-to-day running of the council, their finances. That's the ministry's responsibility. Maybe that is why the ministry took that responsibility. But for us, we would have preferred for letters to come direct to the commission, and from the commission direct to the councils. It will cut the bureaucracy, it will be more efficient, and I think I mentioned that in my earlier testimony. That's what we prefer. But maybe it's a process.
May I just read
Yes.
Section 119
Yes.
of the Local Government Act, which says, subject to the provisions of the Constitution and this Act, a local government service commission shall be independent and shall not be subject to the direction and control of any person or authority.
Yes.
What is your understanding of what the provision is saying?
That in our decision making, nobody should influence whatever decision we are to take.
So does it include you dealing with the issues directly?
Well, for my understanding, I'm not sure whether the administrative part is captured on that, because
I just read
because they quote the PSC, and in the PSC is a similar arrangement. The PSC don't implement. They take decisions and pass them to PMO, and PMO implements the decisions of the commission. So it was the same thing that the ministry was copying. Maybe in my appointment letter, that is why they even stated that the commission, the other act, in the act also said that we have to conform to the standards, you see, of the Public Service Commission. So that's the relevant section, that's the section that the ministry quoted before they bring in the issue of the communication going through the ministry.
Yes, if the in this circumstance, the law is saying that your institution should not be controlled, should not be subject to direction and control of any person or authority. And would I be correct to say that the appointment letter that is given to you does not supersede, does not in any way supersede what is contained in the legislation?
Yes, it doesn't.
Thank you. And Mr. Jallo, why does it take so long for letters, for you to receive letters that you are supposed to act upon? You have explained in detail that in your appointment letter it is stated that everything should pass through the ministry. But given the situation as it is, why does it have to take so long to get the letters to your office for you to take responsibility in some of the things that you're supposed to do? What do you think informed that?
Because of the bureaucracy at the ministry. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Honorable Joyner has a question.
Hello. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I just wanted to establish the timeline and the location of these offices. Where is the PS's office located at?
At the ministry.
Who is your secretary?
The Director of Governance.
And where is his office located?
At the ministry.
How many doors are between the PS's office and the secretary's office?
I can't remember how many doors, but I know it's.
But they are on
it's
the
very
same
close.
floor.
The same floor.
Now, why does it have to take from the 6th to the 28th to have a document move from one office to another office? 14 days, and you're on the same floor.
Yeah, because maybe it goes through the records system. Because they're using the ministry's system. When the PS minute, it goes to the secretary to records office, and records will enter, push it to the secretary. But I don't. It's because of democracy. But that should not happen.
So you are telling me that it is normal for
it's not efficient
to receive something in day one and have it processed to go to another office 14 days?
No, that's inefficiency.
Okay, thank you.
Of the system.
Okay.
May I just ask this further question? How many meetings have you held since you assumed office?
No, I can't remember.
Do you have the minutes of all those meetings? Because you just submitted to us two minutes of your meeting.
Yes, these were the one requested.
Yes, but how many meetings have you held over the period?
I can't remember.
Can you avail us all the minutes that you have had from the time you took over office?
Okay, we'll do that.
To date, except for these two that have been admitted in evidence?
Okay.
Please do so and make sure you bring them tomorrow. Thank you.
Anyway, I will try.
Any further questions from the commissioner? Counsel?
I have no questions for the witness at this time. I will probably have some when all the documents are before the commission tomorrow. I'm grateful.
I think it's a convenient point to break for lunch, and we will be back after 1 hour. Thank you. We may rise.